Yes, we're back. Woo! Rock and roll. You're listening to the Entrepreneurial Web. That was one of my bands, Third Space. Some fancy floor tom work there by yours truly. I really like that section.
I feel like I really captured it.
Oh, it was beautiful. It's beautiful. And that room was just fantastic because I've recorded in a lot of rooms. Those drums, it was Pearl, right? It was a Pearl kit. Oh, love it. That particular session, I just felt like I was floating. You know, and but it helps. It brings out your musicianship. When you have, I mean, I played hundreds of venues in New York and all over the country where you're playing on house kits that are like terrible, and you got to bring it anyways. You can't complain. You just got to be like whatever. But like when you get that one where you're just like, oh, everything you touch just feels so good, and then you get in that groove. It feels great. So we were talking about leases and landlords. It's getting rough in New York. Typically in the past, you know, you go for like a 10-year lease, probably a 10-year option. Each party will put in some clauses. If you had to vacate for whatever reason early, the landlord would be okay, so on and so forth. But you as a business owner were somewhat protected. Only small rent increases in terms of percentage annually.
They weren't nothing. They were
they weren't nothing, but you could survive. And you were saying you got a 5-year lease, which is pretty short for a business. Most businesses, it takes them about 5 years to kind of really become buoyant. And then you had a 3-year option, and they tried to talk you out of a 10-year lease, which would have been better. That's like a good lifespan for a business. It's 10 years. And they
when we took the option, they tried to talk us. No. When we took the option, we knew we had we could. They gave us an offer for a 10-year lease, and somewhere around that time, they were like, you know, if I were you.
Oh yeah, so they definitely knew they knew they probably had the building on the market already. And it's funny because this is something I've developed over time is if I've got a commercial lease in a space, I'll look occasionally to see if that building's on the market. Because sometimes landlords put them up just to see what the going rate is, you know, just like what's my building worth right now? What could I get for it? But sometimes they're actually going to sell it. And I mean, you're in a lease, especially a commercial lease, you have some protections, but you know, if you've got a good landlord, you might not get a good one next. It could be a hassle. And then you have to start thinking about,
you really don't have a lot of protection as a tenant.
Commercial, it's crazy. It's crazy. So they literally just kicked especially all the musicians. There was just tons of music businesses. Literally every floor had like a recording studio or rehearsal space. They all got put out. You moved your operation to Brooklyn. How has that location? Because you were central. I remember we were looking down on MSG. We were like above MSG, which is a great place to be. It's magical. I mean, the whole situation, I just like, my memories of it are so fond. How did that move affect who you get in there and your revenue and how things come in?
Well, it's back to the hustle. The phone rings, you take it. And we had some good friends with other studios. So I was only going to mix in Brooklyn. Next thing I know, I'm tracking vocals and guitars in Brooklyn at my own place. But when we started recording bands, we would go to Whitewater Productions on 19th Street, great place. And we kind of like partnered up with them a bit. And then a few other studios with great pianos. So if BB Winans called, I'm saying yes. And we kept recording. And in a way, it was fun because my partner Rich was on the road for like a year. So it was a great time for me to just meet other studio owners, I used it to my advantage. I learned, you know, other people's gear and how to just adapt and roll with it.
We were talking about that before. Like you have to be adaptive. You can't complain. You can't be like, oh, this sucks. This is uncomfortable.
And it's around that time I started like really getting good at mixing, which is taking advantage. You know, I didn't even think about how it was working in a great chronologically it was perfect, but mixing and then suddenly being approached to produce more music and get, and where I could say like, all right, I'm not paying Midtown Manhattan rent. I can take you on as an artist.
Which can be, I was going to ask about that. It's like,
That's
okay, you're out now, but that's a huge, like anytime you're brick and mortar,
right.
You got rents, you got labor.
That's right.
If it's a, retail or service industry, you have to often buy product and either resell that or, I mean, it's a huge expense.
And Manhattan, I mean, you're paying stuff that you don't even pay any, you go to Long Island City or Williamsburg, you're not paying the same water and common fees and the
extra security guard.
All the Sam knows. Look at his face. Look at Sam's face when we say
Let's turn the camera quick.
Well, we might be back in the fray because we have not signed anything. Who knows if it's going to fall through.
Tell us.
Well, Rich is back from the road. From playing with little Steven for like a year now.
Nice.
Lee is in town, and we've done more research in the past like 4 days.
Get the band back together.
That's right. So we're looking at I don't want to say where the space is going to be at because I don't know if this one is going to work out, but we found something really great right in town. Amazing location. Already built.
Nice.
That's a whole.
It's like a studio, soundproof and everything, because that's not easy. I soundproofed my place on Prospect Ave.
Yeah.
And then we had to move the room, which was crazy. So I had to move the soundproofing.
No,
it was like
we couldn't take it with us. The room you loved so much. I mean, just that one room, we spent like 70, 80 grand on just that one room. And the rest, so anyway, so we are back. I mean, the energy is there, and it feels kind of like an interesting time because we're going to pay more rent, obviously.
Yeah.
But we've got a lot of clients. We didn't drop off the map, so it's gonna be exciting.
And that's the lesson, right? It's like obstacles are going to be in the way.
Right.
You can guarantee it.
That's
so instead of having this mentality of like, oh, I built this business. I mean, you can never disengage. You constantly have to re-engage with your previous and regular customers. You have to constantly engage with potential future customers. You have to constantly engage with your environment because it is constantly shifting. Always shifting. Yeah. And when I was a kid, I heard this quote, and it was like, the only thing guaranteed in life is change.
Right.
And whatever, I was high at the time. I was like, it stuck. I was like, I'm not going to harp on like what if or it should have. Right. It's like you're just in the meat grinder constantly. So, instead of complaining and throwing your arms up and saying, especially if you really got the bug, if you're really like, this is what I'm gonna do, and you put your time in, there's no backpedaling now, right? That's how I feel.
I mean, come on, it's the recording studio business in today's day and age. What am I, an idiot? I'm what kind of business am I choosing? People are making amazing records in their basement. On Logic,
hotel rooms,
I mean, I'm chasing some of these mixes I hear from kids on mixing on cans. I mean, there's some talented people,
which always you were told not to do, right? Don't mix with headphones on.
And you've got to know the headphones now.
Man, I actually love it. Back when people were saying don't do it, I was like, I had to because I was in a little broken apartment.
I like it too.
Man, I got to do it though, and I would be like, this sounds so good though. It's great.
So. We're in the bass heavy age.
Yeah,
too.
sure.
So I actually really like it because my near fields won't even go that low. So I have to work on headphones.
And like everybody listens on. It's like
that's right.
You're making a big movie for HD or something like that, and everybody's watching it on their phone. What's the point? And
the new loudness penalties, which is a whole other topic, where like Spotify will turn down your music if you make it too loud.
Where? When?
Oh, this has been
like
going
on the train. Do they know you're on the train? You're that annoying kid on the train. Like, no.
I mean, the masters you send in. There've been loudness wars for many years, and people are hitting like -6s on it, like horribly loud, just compressed music, and they're starting to say, well, it's a law now. Now it's a law but each company. Apple can change it and then it screws us all up, and Spotify can change it, but the numbers are lower, so you don't have to send in such loud compressed music that's horrible to listen to.
Is it smaller file sizes too if it's not so loud, or no?
Right. It's still but it's a way of saying like maybe we're heading to a place where there'll be some headroom again. It'll sound good again. I'm hoping
headroom is good.
Yes,
we need room for growth. So again, let's recap. Tell us about your projects again, where we can find information on them.
Okay. Well, for all my existing clients and any new clients, I'm also starting a venture with a company that does video. We're going to be offering music videos and B-roll and social media support with video to my existing clients and any new clients. So DannyLapidus.com is where you can hit me up if you want, information on mixing a record or getting me to produce your record or music. HotPeasandButter.com if you like family music, multicultural family music, award-winning family music.
And just fun.
And fun. And podnoise.com, podnoise.com, and you'll see where this new studio will land.
Dope, man. Really excited for it. And maybe we'll actually finish.
We're going to finish Third Space.
Album. Need to get those files. I got a new setup at home. I need to pop into it.
There you go.
Well,
you don't have enough on your plate.
I know. I'll figure it out. That's it for this week, everybody. Again, you're listening to the Entrepreneurial Web. I'm your host, Jeremiah Fox. Danny Lapidus, my guest today. Tune in next week. Lawyer, freak of nature, Sam Himmelstein, awesome musician as well. His firm basically saved the Chelsea Hotel. He's a great storyteller. It's going to be fantastic. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Talking Alternative Radio, 24 hours a day.